Welcome to Friday Night, the podcast where we dive into the stories of remarkable individuals who have shaped the world with their vision and determination. In this episode, our host Shara will be joined by a special guest, Adam, as they explore the life and achievements of Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba. From his humble beginnings as an English teacher in China to becoming one of the most influential entrepreneurs in the world, Jack Ma's journey is a testament to the power of perseverance, innovation, and unwavering belief in oneself.
Okay, so are you ready to dive deep?
Always.
Awesome, because today we're tackling Jack Ma.
Oh, interesting. Founder of Alibaba.
Exactly, and we're going way beyond, the typical entrepreneur story.
Right.
This is about his motivational secrets, the stuff that took him from, teaching English to basically revolutionizing e-commerce.
Huge, yeah.
And get this, our source is a YouTube video.
Okay.
It's called Monday Morning Team Motivation Jack Ma Life Story, CEO of Alibaba Gold Quest.
Catchy.
So I'm pumped to break this down with you.
Me too.
Because his journey is anything but conventional. And that optimism, it's seriously contagious.
Yeah, it is.
So where do we even begin with a guy like this? I mean, what are some of the biggest takeaways you think we can pull out for our listeners?
Well, I think the first thing that jumps out is, Jack Ma really shatters this whole idea of overnight success.
Right.
He didn't come from some, super wealthy family or, go to some fancy school. In fact, he got rejected from Harvard.
No way.
10 times. 10 times.
10 times.
Oh my gosh.
You think about that.
I'd be giving up after 2.
Yeah. I mean, I get bummed out if my coffee order's wrong twice in a row.
Right. Can you imagine?
It really makes you think about were those rejections actually kind of blessings?
Totally.
Pushing him in a different direction. And I think that's a really important lesson, right? How many times have you had setbacks?
Tons.
And it's so easy to just let them define you.
It is.
But Jack Ma didn't. He took those rejections and he used them as fuel. And that takes a huge amount of inner belief, right? Trusting your gut even when things are uncertain. He saw the potential of the internet back in 94.
94.
That's quick.
When most people didn't even have email.
Right. Dial-up was still a thing.
Talk about a visionary.
Yeah, totally. He was tuning into something that nobody else was even picking up yet. And it makes you wonder, is that something that some people just have? Or is it something that, we can cultivate?
It's a good question. He actually talks about this in the video. He talks about meeting other incredibly successful people, people like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. And he noticed a pattern. They all shared this really potent optimism. And it wasn't just about being positive. It was about seeing the opportunity in everything.
Yeah, even problems.
Right, exactly. Instead of getting bogged down by the problem, they're already thinking about the solution.
So true. And that kind of reminds me of what he says about complaints, which I thought was so interesting. He actually views complaints as opportunities.
Right, because think about it. If everybody's agreeing on something, chances are the opportunity's already gone.
It's already been done.
Right. But when people are complaining, it means there's a gap. Something isn't working. There's a need that's not being met, and that's where the magic happens.
Totally. Alibaba wouldn't even exist if he hadn't tuned into those complaints.
Exactly. He saw that Chinese businesses had all these needs and no one was meeting them.
So it's almost like those complaints are little sparks.
Yeah.
Right. And he figured out to fan them into a flame. I mean, that's amazing. But even with the bad idea, you can't do it all alone. He talks a lot about the importance of teamwork, right?
Oh, absolutely. Finding the right people is crucial. People who believe in the vision as much as you do, people who share that passion. He even says it's more important than investors, more important than family support. Find your tribe and you're golden.
I get what he's saying, but I also wonder about the balance, right? Not everyone's going to be on board with your big dream, especially family. Sometimes.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that?
It's tough, right? Maybe it's about finding that core group, even if it's just 1 or 2 people who get it, who can be your sounding board,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your support system.
Exactly.
Because starting anything new takes, a lot of courage.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of courage, he has some pretty fiery advice for young people.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
He basically says, look, your youth is your biggest asset, but don't just sit around and think about ideas. Do something.
Action over ideas.
Exactly. It's the action that separates the dreamers from the doers. The coffee shop is full of people with great ideas.
Oh, yeah.
but it's the ones who actually get up and do something about it who make a difference. And I love that, like action over perfection, all right?
Absolutely.
And then there's this last bit from Jack Ma that really like blew my mind. He talks about this whole philosophy of working for yourself by working for society.
What do you mean?
He believes that your success is tied to the success of others. Like by helping other people succeed, you're ultimately helping yourself succeed.
Interesting. So it's not just about building a business. It's about building something that, like, contributes to the world.
Exactly. And it really makes you think,
Yeah.
like what are my skills and passions? And how can I use them to make a positive impact?
Yeah.
That's the kind of ripple effect he's talking about. So as we wrap up our deep dive today, here's something to think about. What's one complaint you've heard lately that maybe you could turn into an opportunity?
Hmm.
Maybe it's something small, maybe it's something huge. But just remember, like Jack Ma showed us, sometimes the biggest successes come from the most unexpected places. So stay optimistic, take action, and don't ever underestimate the power of believing in yourself.
Great advice.
Welcome to Friday Night, the podcast
advice.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Friday Night. We hope you found Jack Ma's story as inspiring and motivating as we did. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Your support means the world to us and helps us bring you more amazing content. Until next time, stay inspired